14 quick gaming facts about Undertale. If you look into the game's files, you can find an audio file that's named abc_123_a.og. When listening to it, it leaves a very interesting message to those trying to find secrets in the game's files.
Hello, have some respect and don't spoil the game.
It's impossible to have mysteries nowadays.
Because of nosy people like you.
The voice line for Flowey in the game are actually taken lines from a Ronald McDonald commercial that are just changed in speed and pitch to make it that much creepier.
That's a wonderful idea.
That's a wonderful idea.
In the Sonic the Hedgehog comic series by IDW Publishing, issue 49 sees Sonic standing on a couch with a shelf full of collectible books and figures. However, if you look closely at the bookcase, you might notice a familiar robot with fabulous legs.
Oh, yes.
If you choose the pacifist route, once confronted by Sans, he will close his left eye instead of his right eye. This is to shield the player from his powers since they didn't kill anyone throughout their journey. One of the most beloved characters, Muffet, was actually not made by Toby Fox. Before he released the game, he created a Kickstarter to help fund the game, and as a reward for being one of the highest donators, he would add your character idea into the game itself. This is why characters like Washua, Glide, and So Sorry exist in the game, along with everyone's favorite spider, Muffet. The main song was inspired by a Super Nintendo RPG that has never left the realms of Japan. This is done to give the player a very unique experience when playing and listening to it. If you look into the game's files, you will find the names of various attacks Omega Flowey uses against you, one of which being called Dentata. But what is Dentata exactly? Well, let's look it up and find out. Oh, so those things are. In the game, if you use the stick against any of the dogfights, the fight will actually resolve itself quickly. Same can be said for Papyrus's boss fight, except he actually returns the stick inside of his mouth. Who's a good boy? You're a good boy. The iconic laugh you hear from Flowey is actually a reused laugh asset you can find in other video games, with the most notable one being the flowers in Tomba. One of the mini-bosses you encounter in the game, Mad Dummy, may actually be a reference to one of the most popular anime of recent memory, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Why am I saying this? Well, it's cause the music when you encounter Mad Dummy sounds very familiar to the show's OST. Here, listen for yourself. In the game's demo, you can find a toy knife. This in turn sparked rumors about a possible real knife in the full game, which inspired Toby to later on add a real knife to the game. During your fight with Metation, if you type Toby in any capacity, you will gain 300 points, which is 50 points less of if you typed in legs. And why 300 points, you may ask? Well, it's cause Metation finds the name sexy. During development, Toby Fox was very opposed to grinding in the game in order to complete it. This in turn made it so grinding was only optional and not necessary to complete the game. If you go through the game files, you can find entry number 17, which was the only entry missing out of all of True Lab's 21 entries. Once pulled up, it will showcase a message written in Wingdings that reads, quote,
Entry number 17. Dark, darker, yet darker. The darkness keeps growing. Shadows cutting deeper. Photon readings negative. This next experiment seems very, very interesting. What do you two think?
A message written in Wingdings. I wonder who could have possibly written it. Asking two others what they think about it. It couldn't possibly be Sans and Papyrus, right? And this next experiment he's talking about? I could be overthinking it, but maybe it has to do with those blueprints and machine behind the Skeleton Bros house? Honestly, your guess is as good as mine, and that was